Well, as you look out upon the world at the moment, the gravity of the scene is really quite staggering when you look at it. Here's a few events that took place yesterday, April Fool's Day. But what's going on is this, that in Ukraine, suddenly Russia has put up the price of gas by 40%. The consequence of that is the Western world is racing money to Ukraine so that Russia has no excuse to invade. Obviously, Ukraine cannot afford that price. Just cannot. It's a bankrupt country. And so they're racing the money across, trying to help her so that Russia might not have an excuse. But then a little bit further away in Serbia, a very pro-Russian area, they are continuing to keep the time being a middle course between friends with Russia and friends with the EU. But I believe at a blink, that country there would turn pro-Russian in a moment. Transnistria, which we're talking about, here we can see that area of Moldavia to the southwest of Ukraine, that area there is now splitting up. Notice a blockade is taking place. That's what Russia did to Crimea before it occupied Crimea. Alright, so it's doing the same there. And the world is saying, we think, it looks like they're going to move on Moldavia any minute. They're extremely worried. And lastly, while all that's going on, Russia's preparing to move back into Afghanistan. And we expect that, don't we? Because the Georgian Confederacy goes to the river Indus. Afghanistan's there behind it, isn't it? So we would expect that. With the pulling out of America from there, we would expect Russia to move in. And it's preparing the way to do so. But now, some people have heard that the Russians are taking their troops away from the Ukraine border. That's what they say they're doing. That's what Mr. Putin says. But let's have a listen to the man, the chief man of NATO. What does he say? The leader of NATO, the secretary of NATO, Mr. Rasmussen, he says this: in the past months, massed tens of thousands of troops on its borders with Ukraine, raising concerns that after annexing Crimea, it might invade other parts of Ukraine. But he says, on Monday, the Russian defence minister said it was withdrawing troops. It'll all be right. But he said, unfortunately, I cannot confirm that the Russian is withdrawing its troops. This is not what we are seeing, and this massive build-up can in no way contribute to a de-escalation of the situation. A de-escalation that we all want to see. It's not happening. They're lying. That's what he is saying. Russia is lying. Well, America is responding. Suddenly again, breaking news. They are sending troops into this area here, Romania. In Romania, where they have a military base, an airport base. And the Russian president said that the United States wants to increase its troops in that area, at the Black Sea Air Force Base in eastern Romania. And so they've been flying them in there. And so the situation is escalating by the moment. Where it'll end, we don't know. It possibly will go quiet for a while, maybe months, maybe years, and then suddenly Russia will move again. But maybe it won't. We need therefore to be very, very cautious, brethren and sisters, that we're preparing for Christ's return. And of course that's our main subject tonight. The King comes, are we ready?